How's it going, everyone? Welcome to my series, How to Be a Millionaire in New World. The series in which I'll start with a fresh account, take you all along with me as I try various money-making methods till I reach the New World coin cap of 1 million gold coins. But first, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel with notifications on so you'll be notified whenever a new episode goes live. Now, let's go make some money. If you missed episode 2, I'll have that linked in the top right in video description, so go check it out first to get caught up to where we left off. Last time out, we spent some more time questing, joined a faction, and tried to make a bit of gold for the Winter Convergence Festival. That all left us off at level 55, with a cash stack of 15,496 coins, some pretty decent trade skill levels, and a total playtime for the character of 17 hours and 21 minutes. A decent start, but today's episode is where the real fun begins. Since that episode aired, it's been a busy couple of months for me at work, so I haven't had much time to hop on the account and make any progress. I did manage to get on every once in a while though, and when I did, I had my character positioned at a good location to grab a couple of chests quickly and do a couple of dailies to stack up some coin sacks for the episode. But almost 3 months later, since last episode, we get back to the gold making grind. The first thing I wanted to test out this episode was a nice tip left for me in the comments section of the last video by MLV, which if it works well, could be added into my daily routine. His tip was to take advantage of the daily random expedition coin bonus each day, which according to him, you can do up to 3 times a day of, for 750 gold each time. 1,000 gold if you're a healer or a tank as well. I knew this was a thing, but the coin reward amount has been bugged in the game for a while, saying you'd get way less than 750 gold, so I always avoided this. But 2,250 gold a day to help some low levels through some normal expeditions sounded like easy money to me. And to take things a step further and make this even better, MLV went on to add to this tip with a little trick to make sure you always get the easiest and fastest expedition to complete, Aeternum. To do this, just take off enough gear to drop down to 250 to 300 gear score. Then, join the queue, and once you're in, just put your gear back on and blow through the expedition. So, I took off all my gear and jumped in to give it a try. The trick to get Aeternum worked, but I didn't seem to get the gold from completing the expedition, possibly due to me not being max level yet, so I'll come back to this later, once I'm maxed out. With that in mind, I got back to the questing grind to push towards max level. Along the way, as I was getting the XP and gold from the questing, I also managed to pick up this nifty bag as well, that'll help out a ton in future money making methods. I also picked up a few winter tokens here and there throughout this period, but with the event almost over, it was time to convert them all into spiced nogs to get a bit more gold for the cash stack. I was putting up sell orders throughout the event's runtime, with a few filling and others not, but on the last day of the event, I decided to just sell all the remaining 366 nogs I could for whatever sell now prices I could get for them, because I was worried they wouldn't sell after the event ended, as there's better quality food out there, and people might not be searching for nogs anymore. Over the next couple of days, whenever I could get on, I just quest away on the grind to level 65. I took out Empress Zhao, then Isabella, and even made my way over to Brimstone Sands. At this point, I decided to go down the Silver Crows questline instead of the Brimstone Sands one to get my hands on this really nice bag that will come in handy later on. I grinded and grinded till eventually I finally did it. I reached the coveted max level of 65. Finally, I could put questing behind me and start thinking about what money makers I wanted to get testing. This is where the fun will really start for the series. We now sat at level 65 after 1 day, 3 hours and 27 minutes played on the account and a cash stack of 23,000 gold. To celebrate the monumental milestone of hitting 65, I figured it was a good time to open up all of those coin stacks I'd been saving up over the months, and boy did it take a while to get through them all. After spam clicking open next for a couple of minutes, the cash stack rose up to 31,143 gold, an easy 8k addition. But now, I had endless opportunities ahead of me, so it's time to decide on what next. First up, I wanted to put up sell orders for all of the loot I earned from the coin sacks and questing, and boy did I have a lot to list. I let those sell over time while I worked on other things. Next up, I wanted to go back and test the tip MLV gave me, so I jumped back into another expedition run, and it looks like the correct number is showing now for the daily bonus gold as well. And just like it said, after completing the expedition, I was awarded the gold. It took me 5 minutes to run through Aeternum, so for roughly 15 minutes of work a day, 2,250 gold is a solid return. Plus there's a few chests in there to loot as well, which will just add even more profits. Good tip, MLV, thanks. And then, to round out the episode, I wanted to get into our first endgame money making method. Since my best tool was a skinning knife, I decided that's where I would go first. If you've seen my guide on how to make money with the skinning skill, which I'll link now, you might already know one of my favorite skinning farming methods is the rabbit farm, particularly over on Rabbit Island. Not only will I be getting game meat and rawhide consistently, which will add up to some profits, but I can get sumptuous rabbits as well, which sell for 60 gold each on my server, or even, if I'm very lucky, a rabbit's foot, which could see me getting 3,500 gold per. Before I headed out though, I figured I might as well check out skinny knife prices in the server, and I'm glad I did, because for only 650 gold, I could get a 625 gear score knife. It's a lot better than my current one, particularly because it has the life alignment perk on it, so I'll be getting some motes, which I can profit off of out on the grind. So, I put a bit of a dent into the cash stack, getting my new knife, and headed out to Rabbit Island. If you're new to this method, it's really simple. For starters, you can get to the grind spot by teleporting into the main town of Restless Shore, Moonbay Town, and run northeast to the Rabbit Island as seen on screen. Once here, just keep running circles around the little island, killing all the rabbits, and skinning them for their hides. They spawn fast, so there's a lot of skinning to be done. Keep in mind though, when you kill a little white rabbit called Stanley, a ghost will charge at you and begin attacking you. He's really easy to defeat though, so don't worry. But once I got here, I got to grinding. I figured I'd put in an hour of grinding here, and then check to see how much I managed to make in that time. Shortly after the grind began, I could immediately tell that I didn't have enough skinning luck for this method to be worth it. Plus, the rabbits did not give motes when you skin them, so I wasn't fully utilizing my new skinning knife either. So I decided I'd finish off 30 minutes here before moving on to another method that relies on less skinning luck and more skinning yield. By the time I was done with Rabbit Island, I had 353 rawhide, 89 game meat, and 4 sumptuous rabbits. That would bring in 356 gold, not even covering the cost of the skinning knife, so I was happy I decided to end this method early. I would recommend against using this farming method unless you're using top tier skinning gear, tools, foods, and music buffs, as the bulk of your profits will be coming from getting the sumptuous rabbits and rabbits' feet to drop. But to end off the hour, I figured I'd try out a different method, and since I was in Restless Shore already, I might as well go farm out another one of my favorite spots here, and that's Boar's Home. This is a small camp filled with boars that can be killed altogether quickly to be skinned for tons of thick hides. I particularly like this method because of all the AFK time in between kills when waiting for them to respawn, if you don't farm the resources around the spawn while you wait. To get here though, you're going to want to teleport into the Shrine of Sisyphus fast travel point in Restless Shore, and run north to this little camp you'll see on screen. From here, mow down all the boars, wait for them to respawn, and repeat the process. It takes 4 minutes to respawn, so if you want to, you could run around the area gathering all of the resources you see on screen. There's a lot of top tier resources here to gather that will really boost your profit per hour numbers. Just put a 4-minute timer on, go out gathering them, and come back when the boars respawn. Or you can just enjoy a bit of AFK time. That's what I'll be doing during this grind, since my trade skills aren't quite high enough yet to gather the rest of the resources. But I threw on a timer for 30 minutes and got back to grinding. Straight away I could tell this was a better method for a character of my skill levels than the Rabbit Island method, and I was getting tons of skinning XP as well, which was great. But 30 minutes later, the grind was done, and I was left with a ton of loot, as seen on screen. I even got a couple of decent pieces of lumberjack gear I could use in a future episode to make some gold off of the logging skill with. But once I had put all those items up for sale on the trading post, I managed to bring in 881 gold. Not bad for 30 minutes, with the gear I'm using, and the amount of AFK time I had in between kills. So by the end of episode 3, we sat on a total level of 65, finally reaching level cap, with an impressive cash stack of 36,624 coins, and some solid trade skill levels as well. A significant jump from episode 2, seeing the character rise 10 levels, and an additional 21,128 coins being added to the cash stack, more than doubling what it was at the start of the episode. The total playtime also rose to 1 day, 6 hours, and 13 minutes, which is a massive 12 hours and 52 minutes of playtime this time out. That means I was roughly making 1,600 gold per hour this episode, which is a solid return, especially considering how much of the time was spent questing and how many sell orders I still have up that are trying to sell. Overall, a very successful episode. We're finally max level, our cash stack is looking good, we got a really nice new skinning knife, and we got to test out a few more money making methods as well. I don't have the most free time at the moment, but when I can, I'll jump on and continue doing dailies to keep the cash stack rising. But I'm also looking for suggestions from you all on tips and tricks I should be doing to maximize my gold making potential. Or, if you know any good methods I should try out, let me know those as well in the comments below. Next episode, I also will check out the trading post a bit and look what other tools are selling for cheap so I can open up some more money making methods for future episodes. Also, if you're enjoying the series so far, please consider dropping a like on the video and subscribing to the channel with notifications on so you'll be notified when the next episode goes live. But until next time, have a good one. Thanks for watching another video, and massive shout out to all the channel members and patrons seen on screen now. Links on how to become one in the video description. If you'd like to see episode 4 of this series, if it's available, click on the video to the left. Or, if you'd like to learn how to make gold with the tracking and skinning skill in New World, click on the video to the right.